Where'd the Rhythm Thief come from?
Yeah, so I guess the Rhythm Thief name came from a band called Sparks, which was like a 1960s, 70s sort of progressive, pretty weird American rock band. And actually, when I was 11 or 12, they released an album called Little Beethoven, which was amazing. And the first track on it was called The Rhythm Thief, and it was about this kind of little mythical thief-like character that kind of went through the night and stole the beat away from everyone, and he never gave it back. And I thought it was kind of just like a brilliant little idea of this little like crazy little man that like breaks into music shops and like steals drumsticks and fucking steals guitar strings and stuff, and goes back to his little laboratory at home and like creates these like, you know, mad scientist musical creations and keeps them away from the world. And I thought it was a pretty funny story, and the name was really cool. And I just kind of started, I sort of assumed the character for some of the music I was making, and then it's never really changed, so it's still around, and here we are today.
Alright, you want to talk a little bit about some of the music that...
Yeah, I mean, I guess really where this project came from, it started as an experiment, just, you know, is it possible to make hip-hop music with two white dudes, a guitar, a bass, and a microphone? And apparently it is. So I feel like most of our sound is got to be kind of attributed to that early 70s funk sound, the Sly and the Family Stones, the Gil Scott-Herons, the JBs, those kind of people. But also I feel like we have a lot of other influence, more contemporary style stuff. A lot of electronic producers, Roykstop, me and Kriegel really like
Timbaland.
Kriegel really likes Timbaland, but there's a lot of producers now that we really look up to, and we use as influences. But the sound's never going to change that much. It's always going to be based off just that 70s stomp dance music and rhyming, and that's all it needs to be. But I'm happy with what's come out of it so far. I don't really know what the future holds, but.
My first encounter with Kai Roberts of the H&T was when I hosted a show for him in the Underground, which is a venue right here that we run in Pittsburgh. And I was really, really impressed with the work that he was doing. I thought that his flow was really just phenomenal. And so I called him into the studio and I said, like, you know, Kai, like, we'll lay down some beats. We've got a real low-key place, kind of a low-pressure situation. I think we could do some good things there. And he said, yeah, let me bring my friends over. So he brought over Kevin Howard, and alumni, and it was just magic from that. The relationship just seemed to blossom instantly. We worked together really well, and it was like where Terrence and I lacked maybe some forms of expression, they completely picked up, and we were able to craft songs together in a very collaborative way. Collaborating with Terrence has really been, I would say, almost the perfect team, because he and I represent completely opposite sides of the spectrum when you look at the way that we approach music. I approach music from a very algorithmic standpoint. You know, I start with beat creation, and I start with a very simple structure with that, and then Terrence comes in and he puts a bunch of magic on top of it and does like some secret spices kind of thing, and then I'll come back at the end and go back and analyze the entire piece of music as you know, as a waveform or as a spectrum. And so I'm looking for different noises, and I'm trying to represent the piece of music equally and evenly, so that the listener has ultimately the best experience. So you look at those two standpoints, and it's almost like the difference between like a cook and a food chemist, where he has the look of it. You know, you go in, you taste the soup, you see what it's like, add a little bit more of this, add a little bit more of this. Mine's much more of a mathematical approach, where, you know, you're adding these chemicals in, you're going to get these chemicals out, or this taste coming out. And together that just seems to work really well. We kind of vibe with each other, we push off of each other, and a lot of headbutting too, but I think that's a huge part of the creative process for us because, you know, when you have someone telling you like, oh, I think what you did sucks, that gives you the opportunity to be like, well, why did it suck? And then what should I be doing better next time? Or what would people prefer to be hearing? When you have someone that can constantly challenge you like that, it's bound to get better and better and better.
I know it's crazy, but